church. And here, if you're uncomfortable with the word church, think spiritual center or spirituality, what the word that you feel comfortable with. I'm going to use the word church, is what he said is that church is not just a place we go to. More importantly, it's a place we come from. And again, it's a paraphrase, but the gist of it is it's not just one direction. We don't just go to church. The important thing is what happens when we come from church, when we come from those higher principles, when we come from the idea that the spiritual is real. We come from love. We come from the better angels of our nature. Like there's a million and one different ways to put it. And Jesus was so incredibly clear about that. And there's two examples I want to use that are just, I think, were just really powerful. And you don't realize it. They're so subtle. And it's like a lot of the Bible, a lot of the New Testament specifically, is very subtle. And yet when you look at it, there's profound messages within these really subtle words. One of them is when Jesus gets baptized. It said he goes out to the wilderness to get baptized. Well, we're supposed to go into Jerusalem to get baptized. So it's that idea of this baptized that we really grow and kind of get purchase around our faith when we're in a wilderness time. It doesn't happen sort of in center city, so to speak. It happens out there. And it's a similar kind of message. The famous story of the Good Samaritan, if you're not familiar with it, very simple story, but incredibly profound. It talks about a man who's been beat up by robbers. This Samaritan stops and takes care of him, beautifully takes care of him. And again, for a Samaritan to take care of him, that's a whole other sermon in and of itself. But hidden within that story are the people who walk by. There's a number of people just walk by like, nothing to see here, just keep on moving. And one of them was a priest coming from Jerusalem. In other words, he was a professional cleric. He's coming from Jerusalem. He's coming from the holy city. He's coming from church, as it were, as we might define it. And he totally ignores this person out on the side of the road. So let's take a look, friends, at how this might live in our lives in a very real way. How can we live, make this a lived experience today? Well, first off, we go to church. We go to a place where we can find a little bit of a higher perspective, something that can sort of touch the higher angels of our nature. Maybe that's 10 minutes of calm for you this morning, obviously. Maybe it's reading the Word. Maybe it's listening to another podcast. I don't know, but some place where we touch that higher angel, so we touch that sacred space. And then we just don't go there and kind of sit on the mountaintop and enjoy, though that can be nice for a period of time. Our job is to turn around and venture forth and to go out there with that in mind. And such a key, and it's going to sound strange, such a key part of the spiritual life where you really know that you're not just going to church, but you're coming from church, is when you're coming from that spiritual part, can you do this? Can you allow your life to be interrupted today? That is very hard to do. I struggle with that all the time. Can you allow your life to be interrupted? It's really hard to allow our lives to be interrupted. We have agendas. We have things we think we got to do. We got to do all these things that we have lined up that we're supposed to get through. And inevitably, the real caring response will be something in there that is totally not our agenda. And it will probably, if it's really good and probably God smiles when this happens, it's going to interrupt your plans for today and allow your plans to be interrupted. It could be something very, very small. It could be, you're in the middle of work and all of a sudden a kid or a grandkid or a niece or a nephew or a friend texts you wanting to talk, and it's you're busy and far easier to just ignore it. Now, again, I want to say there are times to ignore those because we're really busy. Things have to get done. Get it. But if there's even like a little smidge that this could maybe be moved, allow your life to be interrupted there. And there may be bigger ways, to allow your life to be interrupted. Someone you see in public who's struggling with whatever, fill in the blank, from a flat tire to, go ahead, fill in the blank for yourself, and allow your life to be interrupted there. So the message for today is pretty darn simple. Where we come from is where we go to. Where we go to is where we come from. So when we go to this higher place, we go to this sacred place, we try to just take a breath. Okay, what's just something, little thing I can remember for today? Spirituality is always about little things, by the way. What's that little thing you can remember for today? Let me carry it out there and carry it out there. And again, where we go to, where we come from, we're coming from that place. And the place I think we can ask all of us who are watching this today to be able to come from today, is a place that goes like, yep, life will be interrupted today. and that'll be a good thing. And allow it to be interrupted. See what God does with that. See what happens. I guess you'll find a lot of beauty and grace. So that is the thought for today, friends, allowing our lives to be interrupted. And now what we're going to do is we're going to shift gears. And when we shift gears here at New Church Live, we do a little meditation, little prayer, little blessing, and then we will say hi to our friends who've joined us on Facebook. I'm looking around here, see where I put my trusty rusty bell. I thought I had it right with me. Oh, hold on. Got it. A little prayer bell. We're listening to the prayer bell. Then we'll do, then we'll just carry forth from there. So first, the prayer bell, and then a little meditation from the Old Testament. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, please excuse my averted glance as I am taking a look over here to say hi to friends who may have joined us on Facebook. Again, wonderful for you folks if you are able to join us, always wonderful. And just a quick reminder here, I see it popping up on my screen. We are doing a book club come the end of September. It's on the book Still Alice. It's a book about a woman struggling with early onset Alzheimer's. Phenomenal read, lots to look at in there. And if you're interested in that, just shoot me a note and we will get you the book. All right, let's flip on over to here, see if there's any comments. Over here. All right. Teresa, good morning to you, my dear friend. Martha, good morning to you. I hope you're doing very well. And again, to all of you, God bless all of you, and we will see you again tomorrow on 10 Minutes of Morning Coffee.